I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-8 world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It'll be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford erupted at Canelo in a fiery press conference, making it clear that victory is always his main focus inside the ring. However, he warned that if Canelo crosses the line with disrespect, matters could turn personal. His bold statements revealed his intensity and unshakable mindset, proving that he is both mentally and physically prepared for the clash, leaving no doubts about his confidence.
You were there and stuff. You were. See, you were. I'm talking to. Let Aaron. You were. Cause you keep talking about. You doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. Oh. You can't take his ball back. You can't come back. You don't talk. And you talking too much. This is some attention. So it's gonna be legendary. Female ass. Yeah, tune in. This is a legendary old school fight. Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah, all right.
Trainer Greg Hackett has strongly backed Terence Crawford's chances of defeating Canelo Alvarez, crediting it to Crawford's fearless mentality both inside and outside the ring. Hackett notes that Crawford never enters a fight with hesitation. Unlike many who show intimidation against Canelo, he insists Crawford's self-confidence is not arrogance but the result of years of hard work, success, and adaptability. To Hackett, confidence is a fighter's greatest weapon, and Crawford brings it into every match against Canelo, often regarded as a pound-for-pound great. Mental toughness is key, and Hackett believes Crawford has it in abundance. He sees the fight less as an impossible climb, and more as another chance for Crawford to prove he thrives under pressure.
Canelo, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford. They taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's gonna be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous and scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're gonna get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just gonna come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? He a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence. You know?
Respected commentator Adam Smith calls the potential Crawford versus Canelo bout a massive step up for Crawford, but one within reach. He highlights Crawford's exceptional boxing IQ, noting how quickly he reads opponents and exploits weaknesses with sharp precision. Smith also points to Crawford's speed, which could expose Canelo's occasional defensive lapses. In his view, the fight would likely be decided on points, with Crawford's tactical brilliance across 12 rounds being the key. Smith praises the matchup as potentially one of the most electrifying contests in recent memory, with both fighters testing each other to the limit. To him, Crawford winning on points is entirely possible, showing how boxing rewards strategy and skill over size.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember Eubank Ben? How much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah, that's because we had it.
But that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong, super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed. I think he's got the know-how. I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo. And I think that he could win it on points.
Analyst Adea Ladipo offers a more skeptical take, suggesting that while Crawford versus Canelo has generated buzz, it lacks the natural intrigue of recent major bouts like Usyk versus Du Bois. He argues the weight gap and expectations tilted toward Canelo reduced the sense of unpredictability, unlike Usyk Du Bois, which brought contrasting styles and true suspense. This matchup feels less balanced to him. Oladipo believes much of the excitement is fueled by promotion rather than by the fight's natural dynamics.
Like, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. Just feels a bit lacking of something. I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. How Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. Maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal. Because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have pushed hard to present Crawford versus Canelo as a cultural phenomenon, branding it as the fight of the century. They've tapped into a worldwide audience, extending the hype beyond core boxing fans. With Netflix stepping in, the buzz has grown even louder, providing exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage, interviews, and documentaries that make the showdown feel bigger than life. Through strategic media efforts, the fight has reached homes that don't usually follow boxing, blending sport with spectacle. This promotional strategy has elevated anticipation to the level of some of history's biggest crossover events.
I'm holding you to the standard you said. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran commentator Al Bernstein gives a blunt take, saying that despite the massive buildup, this was never the matchup fans were truly calling for. He argues the real demand was for Crawford to face top names in his own division or for Canelo to meet challengers closer to his natural weight. While the fight has appeal on paper, Bernstein feels it lacks the organic rivalry or storyline that makes it about unmissable. He adds that while marketing has created plenty of noise, hardcore fans remain less invested compared to other mega fights. To him, this event feels more like a product of promotion than genuine demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything. And they've sold, looks like they've already sold 30, 40,000 seats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
believe they'll sell it out.
Left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Many observers share the belief that although this fight will draw huge viewership, it wasn't one fans were actively pushing for. The significant size and weight edge in Canelo's favor makes the outcome appear predictable. The drama, therefore, lies in whether Crawford can overcome those disadvantages and achieve a legendary upset. If he succeeds, it could go down as one of boxing's most stunning underdog victories. If Canelo wins as expected, the fight risks being labeled boring or inevitable. This tension between hope for an upset and fear of disappointment drives the intrigue. Can Crawford defy the odds and prove pure skill can topple size?
So many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's going to be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are going to be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Fans and analysts have been surprised by Crawford's new look at 175 pounds. Far beyond his natural weight, images show him more muscular, with a wider frame, defined arms, and a stronger build, presenting the image of a fighter ready for Canelo's power. This transformation eased concerns that he might be undersized, showing instead that he carefully reshaped his body for the higher weight class. His conditioning reflects a commitment to strength while preserving speed and agility. Scene: Crawford, bulked up but still sharp, has inspired hope that he can neutralize Canelo's physical edge and still deliver his trademark skill. The stronger version of Crawford has reignited debate over whether size will truly be the deciding factor.
Terence "Bud" Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence "Bud" Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds on next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right? You can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Alvarez's credentials remain undeniable. Turning pro at just 15, he has faced and beaten many of the sport's biggest names. Unlike others who rely on raw power, Canelo combines polished fundamentals with one of the best jabs in boxing, a granite chin, and the ability to adjust mid-fight. His resume spans multiple weight classes, built on victories under intense pressure. For Crawford, stepping into the ring with such an experienced, well-rounded opponent is the ultimate trial. Canelo's mix of skill, toughness, and tactical intelligence makes him a dangerous challenge for anyone.
Terence Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.